Well, welcome back to another episode of Game On, brought to you by the American Hotel. You're with Alex and Jess.
Well, it's certainly been a big week for a lot of teams around the district, with a lot of big clashes taking place and a lot of teams battling out for those all-important ladder positions.
That's right, we had a huge clash in the GVL with the two Bomber teams going head-to-head. Spirits were pretty high for Echuca going in, but not so much afterwards. Absolutely outclassed.
Yeah, we've got a few of those interviews coming up as we meet the players from Echuca Football Club.
And we've got the Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear first handball competition, Moama, their turn this week. And Jett O'Reilly from the Echuca United Under-12s, he's going to bring us this week's fixtures.
Well, let's get underway. Game on.
Well, let's get underway in the GVL where Echuca met Kyabram and they were absolutely smashed from start to finish here. There was that real sense of optimism going in. Felt like Echuca would be able to maybe take it up to them, but within a quarter those spirits were pretty much gone. It was only sort of 20 points down nearing the end of that first quarter, but then 3 late goals just absolutely killed their enthusiasm. Their effort levels just dropped straight after that. Second quarter was just a procession. Kyabram just streamed through the ground at will. Just little pressure from Echuca, and when Kyabram went forward, they had 3 or 4 guys lining up for a shot at goal, and they just absolutely smashed them. So, look, Echuca, they were down 119-0 before Simon Buckley kicked that first goal. He was brilliant as always. So, still, he was pretty good, but yeah, Kyabram just far too good. They looked really polished, just like a brilliant football team, and they're really big, strong bodies. Just a bit physically, they just overpowered Echuca.
Yeah, look, 4 straight wins going into the game, so it's going to take a lot for them to bounce back after this one, but hopefully they can build up that momentum, and they're going to have to do it quickly because they've got a couple of big games coming up. They've got Euroa and Benalla next, who are both really informed teams this season, so they're going to have to bring their A game and really, let go of this week and show the form that they had been playing in those previous 4 games. They're now a game out of the top 6, so if they can't win at least one more in the next 2, they'll be quickly falling out of finals calculations. Moving into the Murray Football League, and Moama taking on Rumballara. Moama having an impressive win there. It was a really good game actually, and it was goal for goal for the first half. It was 11 goals in the first quarter, and Rumballara really took it to them, which is a testament to Rumballara to see just how much they've improved this season from the start of the year. Moama found it really hard to break away though, but in that last quarter they were able to get a really good goal run on. They've gone from 20 points heading into the fourth quarter to then run out the game by a 43-point win. A lot of that did come down to Tyler Jones, who came back. He kicked 3 goals in that last quarter, and he kicked 8 for the game, which was the massive story to come out of this one, because we all know his journey that he's had in coming back, and he's always been a really strong forward for Moama, and it's great to see him back out there, and if only his 3rd game back, so incredible efforts there. But you were speaking with Mark Lloyd, and he said he's not surprised. He knows the work that Tyler's been putting in behind the scenes, and we're expecting him to come back and start as he has.
Yeah, that's right. And Mark also said, look, it was just great to see, the joy with which Tyler's playing. It must be great for him to be back out there. But it also helps the team in a massive way, doesn't it? You see other forwards, less pressure on them. So Cooper Barber, he's able to bow up and kick 4 goals. And it just gives all those midfielders just a massive target to aim at when you've got someone so good at leading for the ball. So it helped them very much there. We're going to stay in the Murray League now with another pretty big game. United able to get a 75-point win against Tongala. I think the best way this game was summed up was from Guy Campbell, who said it was 3/4 of United just getting away with just doing enough to stay in front, and then they really clicked in that last to sort of blow them away a bit. Tony only 13 points down at quarter time, and they definitely had some chances in that second quarter, but 0 goals, 6 in front of goal. I mean, that really hurt. Of course it hurt, and then from then little chance to sort of get back into the game. Again, I don't think it was United's best football, especially for the first 3 quarters, but we know that they're a very dangerous team, and if they can play 4 quarters of football, as we've seen against teams like Nathalia Baruga, they can bring that to anyone.
Yeah, so it wasn't their best performance. There were some guys that stood out again. Dean Moon, Braden Warsnop, they played an absolutely great game out there. Continue their really strong form throughout the season, and it's their contributors up forward who are continuing to step up and really produce some really strong games for United. They're guys like Farron Priest, who kicked 5 goals, and 3 to Peter Quanchi, Nick Dennehy and Anthony McMahon, just continuing to produce really strong games. Moving into the Heathcote and District League now, and LBU, they came away with their third straight win over Heathcote, and it's really pleasing, I guess, to see that finally this young team is able to start getting some wins on the board. And their coach Peter Gibbs, he knew it was something that they always had, and he's been trying all season just to coax it out of them, and he finally has gotten there and broken through a 73-point win over Heathcote away, which is really great to see. And it would have been a really tough game too for a lot of those younger players, because we know Heathcote, they're a lot of older, more experienced, bigger bodies, so a really tough for those young guys to come up against. But look, they took control in the midfield and really showed a lot of strength up forward, taking control of those scoring chances, and the pressure across the ground was fantastic as well. It meant the back line got some really clean possession. They were able to run the ball and rebound it, and then provide those opportunities up forward for their young guys to capitalise on. Again, a third straight best on ground for Mayrick Buchanan, so he's really stepping up to be one of the Cats' really leading guys, and he'll continue to improve as the season goes on. So I think some promising things to come for the Cats in the back half of this season. Leachfield Gunbow, they're just far too strong for the Mounts. A massive 188-point win, again showing they're one of the really top sides in the Heathcote and District League. They're really starting to get back to a full team, which is great to see, and they're only going to continue to get stronger and stronger again, which is pretty scary for all the other teams out there in the Heathcote and District League. The Mounts tried to get men behind the ball and defend, but they played right into LG's hands, and the Bombers, they just completely smashed them right throughout the game. It might have been one-sided, but they played the brand of football that they know that they want to play.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll move across to the Pecola League, and we know Pecola United went down for the first time last week. Pretty good response this week with a 138-point win against Berrigan. The attitude, I think, was the important thing. According to John Barker, they really went in with the attitude of saying we do need to respond, we do need to make a statement after that loss, play some consistent footy. They did that, they ran and attacked really well, so great to see them back in the winners list. Same thing for Mathara, who got just their second win of the season. Their second win against Yarrawea by 33 points, pretty good for them. They were behind early, but they actually fought back really well in that second quarter to take the lead, and it sort of did enough from there to hold on. 3 goals for Darcy Robinson, important in the win.
Last year here when we came from, it was about 40 odd points behind in the last quarter against Benalla.
Probably my first win in GV Seniors last year against Riverine.
Well, it hasn't been one for a while in the two, so hopefully get one soon.
Probably last year's grand final.
I'd say Benalla last year.
Probably taking the piss out of myself here, kicking the ball up in the air and going to mark it myself.
Probably Grady Dixon missing from the top of the goal square, that was pretty good.
Daniel Willis cracking the sads. Funniest nickname. Say Onions. Do you know Will Manane? Last year or 2 years ago, he had to eat an onion as part of an eating challenge down at our camp at Torquay. So he's been onions for a couple of years. Flusher. Nick Flusher McCann.
Can you explain why is that?
Oh, it's a long story. I don't think we've got time.
Yeah, Flusher. Flusher's pretty good.
Geordie Florence has got a bit of a big nose, so he cops snorkel a bit of the time. So that's pretty funny.
I have to say, Daniel Willis, definitely.
What have you seen him do?
This gives everyone sprays. If you miss a kick, he's just in here straight away, screaming away.
Probably Flusher again.
With John Opie.
What have you sort of seen him do?
He's just an aggressive person when Johnny Rochford's pretty bad actually. He's calm off the field and then on the field changes a bit, so.
Probably myself, I think. I can self-nominate there.
Not me. Don't play enough ones.
He doesn't play her anymore, but Lockie Collins copped a pretty good one. He got himself sent off just before half time, and I think he came out and made a bit of an amends after that. He copped a real rocket after that one.
I would say me. I cop it the most.
What have you done?
Just consistently. There's hands are raised and voices are raised quite often.
Well, it was great to meet the Murray Bombers, and let's hope we'll be seeing them in the finals this season.
Yeah, over across to the netball, and Echuca had another tough game against Kyabram's A grade, who are also sitting on top of the table. Alex, why don't you tell us how that one turned out?
Yeah, it was an 18-goal loss in the end for Echuca. Not the worst performance in the world, and we knew going in it was going to be a very tough game. We always talk about Kyabram's football has been undefeated, but the netballers too this season have been pretty much just as good, and clearly the best team in the competition there. Echuca started really well. They actually led by a goal at quarter time and things were looking pretty good, but Kyabram got that fast ball movement and their pressure right across the court. That was all working pretty well from then on. They were able to sort of control the game. Echuca, we know they're a very young team, and look, even comparing their physical stature to those more experienced and taller Kyabram girls, it was a bit funny out there. They just look so small, but they did really well. They fought on really well, and they didn't want to use that inexperience or that size as an excuse, because they were in the game against one of the league's best teams, and we know, look, they're just out of the top 6 now, but if they can get a few wins together, I think they'll still be a team right in that finals mix.
Yeah, over in the Murray League, Moama, it was their game against Rumballara, and back to the start for the Murray League. And, it was a game of that everyone was talking about at the start of the season with that 70-point thrashing. And, people didn't think they'd be able to do it again, but they've turned around and done it again. A 73-point absolute annihilation of Rumballara. Look, the Magpies, they played strong as they always do. Emily Atkinson shooting really well, and Ange Slattery in defence. It's just a beautiful tall pillars at either end, and then the mid-court just moves so seamlessly together. They're just a real treat to watch. They slowed down a bit in the last, so just a lacking a bit of motivation there. So imagine if they really kept up the pace, just how big that margin could have possibly got to. So I think the bye coming up, though, is come at a really good time for Moama. They'll be able to regroup, recharge, and get ready for another tough game coming up against Echuca United.
That's right, and speaking of United, they had a huge game as well this week against Tongala. We thought going in it would be a match that would decide who finishes second in the Murray League, and it's Tongala who was able to come out on top there. Pretty back and forward game. Tongala led early, but Echuca United really lifted in that second quarter, getting that pressure going, able to win the ball back, and they took a lead to halftime. So Tongala, Alicia White, the coach, said that they just sort of felt like they had nothing to lose, so they switched a few of those positions around, and it sort of seemed to click, because from there they were able to run away with the game and take a 7-goal win in the end. I think those switches, it was more about getting some experience into each sort of third of the ground, because they didn't feel like they had a balanced approach, and once they got that balance right, they got on top, and United didn't seem to have any answers. So maybe that's a bit of an upset. Probably we expected United might be able to get the win going in, but Tongala have been brilliant this season, and they're second for now, United fourth. So bit of work for both teams to do from there now.
Yeah, certainly a talent game in the Murray League there. Across in other games, Picola United, they won a really important game against Berrigan, 44-35. LBU, their second straight win, 50-35 against Heathcote. But LG, they just couldn't quite get across the line against Mounts, losing 48-47, just the 1 point there.
All right, let's see who the teams are going to be playing this weekend with Echuca United's Jett O'Reilly.
Hi, my name is Jett O'Reilly and I play under 12s at Echuca United Football Club. This week the Murray Football League has a general bye, so all the teams can enjoy a well-deserved break. In the Goulburn Valley League, Echuca will play Aroa. In the Heathcote and District League, LBU will play Huntley away, and Litchfield Gunvale is away to Almore. In the Picola League, Picola United plays Jewelry, and Massara will host the Denny Rovers.
So we're at Moama Junior Football Club. We're joined this week by the Campaspe under 14 side. Same rules apply, 3 handballs each. Top 2 scores go through to our semi-finals later in the year. Let's meet our competitors.
Hi, I'm Darcy Runs.
Hi, I'm Lucas Simpson.
Hi, I'm Lachlan Hughes.
Hi, I'm Will Norris.
Hi, I'm Kingsley Bentley.
Winners today, we've got Luca going through to the semi-finals. Well done, Luca, and Kingsley. He'll also be joining our semi-finalists later on in the year. Well done, guys. $20 each to Echuca Fashion Centre.
Well done to Luke and Kingsley there. That's brought us to the end of another episode of Game On. Be sure to tune into riverineherald.com and through our Riv Herald Facebook page next weekend, where we'll bring you another episode.
Until then, make sure you grab Monday's lift to see if you're the American Hotel's next face in the crowd, and be sure to grab Friday's paper for all the previews from this week's games.
And we'll leave you now with some footage of the Echuca United under-12 side training ahead of the interclub match a few weeks ago.